VR physics. This looks important. Hold on. Bonelab is the biggest VR game that's come out in all of 2022. Funnily enough, you guys have read the title, a lot of people are not enjoying it. Since Bonelab is available on the Oculus Quest, I think it's fair to say a lot more people are going to be playing it. Now unfortunately, these novices don't understand how Boneworks operates. Frankly, neither do I. At the beginning of the game, it becomes evident that Bonelab does not tell you everything that you need to know. First off, it doesn't tell you that you can select things by grabbing it off your back. It only gives you this diagram on how to select things from your menu. Another thing is, there's these orbs that are around the map. Now these orbs are important because once you unlock them, you can use them in the mini games. There's no indication that you need to open them up to unlock them. Thankfully, I watched a video about Bonelabs right before I played, so I was able to catch on to this. But someone that's brand new would not know this. I feel like there's a lot of people that don't like Bonelab simply because they don't understand it. It's a better game because they didn't hold our hand through the entire tutorial. I feel like this makes the game more interesting since you have to figure it out yourself. And I don't mean to be insensitive, but someone really complained about a trigger warning on the opening scene. When this game includes you stabbing people in the face, that doesn't make sense to me. You shouldn't be playing this game if that's something that triggers you. If you're new to VR, you're gonna have a tough time with this game. I had a tough time with this game. But watch a few videos, it'll tell you all the things that you need to know, and it should make the process a lot smoother. Now, this is definitely a janky game. With everything being made up of physics, interactions happen all the time, and there are issues, there are glitches. Your axe might phase through a wall and you won't be able to get it back. You'll have things getting stuck on things all the time. Your body is made up of geometry, therefore you can get hooked on things and stuck. But with things being so physical in this game, there's going to be interactions that are just glitchy. Hopefully over time they're able to update it and improve it so this doesn't happen, but this is not a deal breaker for me. I feel like some of the glitches that happen make Bonelabs what it is. Speaking of physics, this is a stress level 0 game. Things in this game, although sometimes glitchy, the things that should work do work. It's an amazing feeling when you try to do something and then you're actually able to do it. Before the story mode even happened, I was able to grab a crowbar and I was able to hook myself up onto a house. Now, I didn't grab the house where it wanted me to. I grabbed the tiniest little sliver and just luckily, I was able to pull myself up. The collisions in this game are really good, and because of this, you can use stuff like the crowbar as a tool. You're able to climb up things that you wouldn't be able to without it. If it makes sense for it to work physically, chances are it does in this game. With this game playing and feeling just like Boneworks, people are wondering if it's really worth the $39.99 price tag that they're asking for it. Now, I will say the game is very similar. If you played Boneworks, you're gonna feel right at home here in Bonelab. And it might feel like there's not all that much different. But instead of expecting a new game, start thinking about it more as a part 2. There wasn't all that much of a difference between Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2, and yet at the same time, it feels completely different. Unfortunately, I haven't made it all the way through the story or even grazed the top of it, but I understand that there is an avatar selection menu. I think improves the game greatly, especially if you implement your own avatars. Speaking of adding in your own avatars, let's talk about the modding community. Mods are an integral part of Bonelab, and because mods are always going to be available, the game's constantly going to feel like it's changing. If you get tired of any of the standard characters, you can just find the ones that you want. Now, would I recommend that you buy Bonelab? Absolutely. Even though it's very similar to Boneworks and it's kind of glitchy and the story's not too crazy, it's still a lot of fun. And let's be real, $40 is not that expensive. Like, stop being cheap, buy the game, it's a lot of fun, you won't regret it. Do you know what's even more fun than playing Bonelab? Turning your entire house into a VR game. Watch this video right over here to learn how to do it for free.